Hi Internet, it's Jason here from Godlike Productions once more, and tonight we're going to be looking at changing the battery on my new toy here, which is a Yamaha DSP5D, and it's an old school mixer. Well, it's the additional I/O unit or the DSP unit for a PM5D. So essentially a PM5D without the faders, and I don't know what they retailed for back in the day. Certainly the PM5D was over 100 grand, and these things I think are up around 50 grand brand new. So I've bought this as a most ridiculously overpriced patch bay, but I'll do another video on that soon. This has just arrived. The problem with it is that battery's flat, and it's really hard to find anything on these units. So I thought I'd just do a little bit of a video to explore how we can change this. I've downloaded the manual, the service manual, which is, I'll put a link down below. And after my first foray into this, I think that there's a much easier way of changing the battery than what they're saying in the service manual. Because what they're saying is take this back panel off. This is the back, even though I've got rack ears on mine. I think the guys had it before me, had this mounted around the other way. And then along this side here, there's a DSP board and a main board. And you have to take some screws out of there, take a panel off, and then you have to disconnect a whole bunch of cables in here, and then you can slide it out. But I'm pretty sure you can get into this from the side. So we're going to have a look at that and see if we can do it. So let me spin this around. Let's first of all, I'm going to take this rack gear off. Normally they're installed on this side. Douglas Adams, help us out here a little bit. These things are really heavy, so they're about 35 kilos or 70 odd pounds. So just a rundown on what this thing's got inside it. So I'll show the back in a second, but there's 56 inputs, physical inputs on this thing, and 24 analog outputs. Plus you can have option cards in there, so there's 2 option cards which can do another 32 channels each of MADI or ADAT or a whole bunch of other things. So and they go in the bottom. So they're the standard Yamaha expansion cards. So yeah, this thing can basically take 56 inputs, and then I'm using this to send to my RME UFX, and I'll also use it to send to a MADI face when I get one of those as well. So this is starting down the direction of doing that. So that'll let me have patchable of most of the instruments in my studio, not all the rack mount gear, but most of the instruments, so that I can log in remotely, repatch everything, and then I've got the benefits of having a massive, very feature-rich mixer within these things. All right, more screws. All right, so these screws on this side are slightly different to the ones on this side. These ones have got little locking washers on them. So I'll swap them around when I put it back on, so that the locking washers are on the rack, because I'm going to put the rack on this side. This is what we're looking for. Let's go and have a look. Alright, so this is a battery we want to replace. It's just a standard CR2032, and this is the main board, and there's a little daughter board sitting off there. So on the back of this, the other side of this panel, is the DSP board, the main DSP board, and then all the I/O are lined up along the back here. So inputs on this side, outputs on this side. Alright, so let's change this out. This is much easier than trying to pull this board out from this end. So yeah, let's change the battery out and close it back up. Done. Alright, let's have a look at the front of this beast. Alright, so we have, these are all the inputs, all here. So there's 56 inputs all up, and then 24 outputs. You've got these cascade connections here. And these allow us to connect to another DSP D5 or a PM5D, and one PM5D can drive two of these through the cascade, and they also use the cascade. So this can run to, these ones can run to an optional card. Word clock in here. This is the network port. Very important because this is how we control it. The whole thing's controlled over a network MIDI driver available from Yamaha. And this is the MADI card that I bought to install. So this is, I'm going to have 32 channels of MADI. This one does 16, and then you can get an extender card which connects from here into these extension brackets to double up the number of cards. And down on this side we've got, this is for a redundant power supply. This is a DC inlet. I didn't buy this because it was expensive, and this is the power receptacle. So yeah, this is going to be, I guess, the new centerpiece of Dark Heaven Studios is going to be this little beastie. Alright, I'm going to swap over the other rack here, and then we'll call it a night. Alright guys, thanks for tuning in and watching me experiment with my new toy. And yeah, hopefully this is going to improve our workflow within Dark Heaven and make it a lot easier for me to write remotely while I'm away. And I'll put some links down below of how I configured my studio to work remotely. Got lots and lots of gear, but this is going to be an important part of the puzzle going forward.